What's up, my fellow Avengers? It's your boy, Trini Hulk. And today, we're going to do a little something different. You know what I'm saying? So, I do follow my boy, Corey Kenshin. Corey Kenshin, shout out. With his spooky, scary Sundays and stuff. So, you know what? Why not put out a little content with a little spooky, scary stories myself? Copyright Corey Kenshin. You got to cover your cheeks on this YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You definitely do gotta cover your cheeks, man. Because if you don't copyright, you don't give the rightful claim to you know what I'm talking. But so today we're gonna get a little spooky up in here. You know what I'm saying? A little spooky. And basically I'm gonna react to some horror stories, animated horror stories. So with that being said, go get your blankie and your teddy bear, cause we about to get scared. You know what I'm saying? Now let's start the video. Bam! Story number 1.
This happened when I was in my junior year at high school. We had a group of projects that we were given 2 weeks to work on. Our teacher let us pick our partners, and I picked my best friend Peter. But we lagged, procrastinating the work for an entire week. When there were only 3 to 4 days left before submission, our rational senses finally kicked in. I asked Peter, "Well, what are we going to do?" It was after school, and we were hanging out at a store nearby. Peter replied in a worried voice, "I mean, we have enough time to finish it. We just have to get together and do it." "Then let's do that. We don't have enough time left. How about we go to someone's house and work on it there?" "I guess. But which house?" "My house isn't free. My aunts and uncles are coming to visit tomorrow, so we can't do it there. My place is too small for us. I share my room with my 2 younger brothers." None of our houses were available to work at. So we tried to pick out some places to work at, and Peter came up with an idea. "Dude, how about we work in the school? We rarely get time at school." "No, I mean let's go to school at night and just do it there." "Don't they lock the doors?" "No, there's night classes, so the school is technically still open." "What if we get in trouble?" "Get in trouble for what? Doing our homework?" "No, I mean, come on. Now that we have a spot to do our project, you don't want to do it?" Peter was right. We agreed to meet up at school at 9:30 p.m., the same time the night classes started. When we reached there, we barely saw anyone in the school. The guards were also absent at the gate.
Hold up!
It was...
Wait a minute. Listen, man. Listen. Ain't nobody trying to go to no schools. No big buildings at night. Nah. Hell no. You don't even know where the light switch is. You gonna walk up in there. Next thing you know, some sucker come out the corner and be like, huh, huh, huh. You know what I mean? You see that red hook? That right hook? I said red hook. That right hook? Yeah. The boy got them hands. You feel me? Got them hands, boy. Alright. Enough of that. I'm sorry. Enough of that. Back.
so quiet and dark that I had trouble believing how cheerful this place gets in the day. Our classroom was on the opposite side of the campus. We started walking down the hallway. The only light was one in the very middle of the hallway.
Hold on. You telling me these dudes plan to come at night and even bring a flashlight? Come on, bruh. Shame. Let's get back to it.
And although the hallway had windows, the moonlight wasn't very helpful. We tried to enter our classroom, but of course it was locked. So we decided to just do it in the hallway. We sat down on the floor
Hey, you.
Me.
Yeah, you. Don't you want to play some?
And started working on our project. Dude, I had no idea this place could get so spooky after dark. Shut up. Let's just finish our assignment so we can leave
Spooky.
ASAP. Why? Oh, were you scared? Brave Tommy is scared of darkness. Peter started mocking me like he always does, and I was about to throw a kick at him when we heard a weird noise. We immediately stared at the end of the hallway, from where the sound was coming from. It felt like something was walking weirdly, almost like taking a step and dragging the other foot in a limping motion. In that light, shadowy atmosphere, we could see the wide, empty hallway standing before us. What the hell is that? What is that? I don't know. I think someone's coming. Here. We kept staring at the empty hallway, expecting to see any teacher or student any moment. But instead, we saw someone else. A man slowly came out from the left, and he was dressed as our school janitor. The man was of average height and had a broom in his hand. There was something wrong with his left leg. He could barely...
Hold up. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. You mean to tell me these two fine young gentlemen just stood there and watched to see what was coming? Boy, listen, you in the middle of the night at your school. Nobody's supposed to be there. Bro, the lightest little thing, whatever, the lightest sound will make me run, boy. I don't know what that sound is. Ain't nobody supposed to be there but me. These cats are just sitting there. You see this big old swollen man dragging his foot, whatever, down the hall. I'm out, bro. No ifs, ands, or buts. I ain't looking back. Nah, B. It ain't gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the story.
barely walk, and I finally realized he's the one we heard limping a few moments back. At first, he didn't notice us and kept walking, but when he was in the middle of the hallway, he suddenly stopped, then sniffed the air in a very creepy way, and turned his face at us right away. Even though I couldn't see his face properly, I sure saw his eyes. He had big, round eyes with gray pupils in them. He kept staring at us without saying anything. Not once his eyes blinked. Getting creeped out by this awkward encounter, I decided to break the ice.
Better run.
Hi, we're just doing our homework. Yeah, we'll leave as soon as we're done with it, Peter added. The janitor slowly walked towards us and stopped right under the hallway light. Finally, we could see him. Nothing was striking in his appearance, except his facial expressions.
He looked
kept
like
staring
me.
at us like he was doing all the time, and then smiled ear to ear in a very unsettling way. He then spoke in a calm but shrill voice. Are you guys lying to me? What? Why would we lie? No one comes here after dark. Even the night classes students avoid this wing like a plague. I get so bored. Peter and I exchange a look, thinking how strange this man is. Look, we'll finish soon and leave. We won't cause any trouble.
Y'all suckers better throw a book at that boy.
I'm not asking you boys
throw a
to
book
leave.
at him and
Stay.
run.
Stay as long as you want.
Y'all mother
tired
lovers
of
better
being
run.
alone. We better finish our assignment. Saying this, we got back to work, thinking the janitor will go away. But he didn't. He just kept standing there, holding his broom in hand and smiling at us. He didn't speak, didn't turn back, just stood there, watching us without blinking. Is there anything else? Nope. Just enjoying watching you guys.
Y'all better run, B.
Peter couldn't.
Y'all better run. Y'all better run. As soon as he said enjoying ya, as soon as he pronounces the ya, I'm out. He said he watched you. I'm watching y'all. Nah.
Take his bizarre behavior anymore, So he said in an annoyed voice, "Don't you have work to do? Cleaning and stuff? But I like it here, spending time with you guys." "What? This is so crazy. Come on, Tommy. We'll finish the rest of the assignments at the night class wing. It's better to ask the teacher's permission to do it there than rather tolerate this creep." "Peter, don't talk like that." We got up to leave, and I saw the man's face change. His eyes turned blood red.
Come on, iPhone. I don't even like y'all.
Still using.
Get off my screen.
And the veins in his forehead started to pop out in anger. He started breathing heavily, looking at us. What did you call me?"
Oh.
"Creep, 'cause that's who you are. No wonder you're alone. Let's go, Tommy."
Yo,
I knew
y'all
Peter was
better,
being
y'all
offensive,
better run.
but at that moment, I too wanted to get rid of this guy. We turned around to walk away when I felt something bad is about to happen. Before I could guess what it could be, a huge blow came right at Peter. He didn't see the broomstick coming at him, and it hit him hard on the head. He grabbed his forehead, screaming and bleeding,
Yo!
and I saw the janitor standing right behind us, laughing in sickening joy. "Ah, what the? I'm a creep? I ain't no creep. The world is. People like you are, who don't understand how to love and care for a lonely heart. But I know how to teach you all lessons." Saying this, he punched me in the face, breaking my nose. The guy sure was limp, but strong enough too. I collapsed to the ground, holding my bleeding nose, and then he grabbed Peter by the hair and started to drag him back to where he had came from. Peter kicked in the air and screamed, but the man's strength was way more than him. I was so jolted away with the pain that it took me a moment to get back on my feet. Finally, when the man was at the end of the hallway where we saw him the first time, I got up and started to run towards him. Having no weapon to defend myself or my friend, I grabbed the thin hair on his head and pulled it with all my strength. A chunk of his scalp came out, tearing blood from the roots. He let Peter go with this sudden attack and turned at me. He then grabbed my neck and started to choke me.
In the
His
cojones.
blood-red eyes hungered for my soul as he put all the
Kick
pressure
him
on my
in
neck.
the
My face
cojones.
turned pale for not being able to free myself from his grasp, and my vision started to blur. I realized I was going to die if I didn't do something quick. Peter was still on the floor, holding his bleeding head. The man's wide eyes that never blinked started to get wider, enjoying the sight of my death at his hands. I don't know what came into me. I took out the freshly sharpened pencil from my pocket and stabbed it into his eyes. But the man was a psycho. Even though he screamed and bled, but he still wasn't letting me go. So I started turning the pencil even after it was dead stuck in his eyeball. Blood and gushy flesh came out of his eye socket, and he finally let me go. I fell to the ground, trying to catch my breath, when Peter gave me his hand and said, "Tommy, come on, we have to go." We both ran for our lives and went straight to the night class wing. The teachers and students got shocked seeing two boys in such conditions after school hours. They called the cops and the paramedics. Our parents were called too. Moments later, the cops arrested the janitor, who was lying unconscious in the hallway in pain. When he was taken away, he turned his face right at me, and I could still see my pencil stuck into his one eye, which was completely gone forever. He still stared at me with his other wide eye and smiled ear to ear. I just hope he never gets out of prison.
Yo, this dude
Ever.
is crazy.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like. And also, a small percentage of people
Became a much-loved teacher. At that point, I thought I had already seen it all. But in the end, there are always things that surprise you. More than surprising me, there was an event with a child that still terrifies me at night because I am not able to believe that people like this exist in this world. It was the beginning of a new school year. I was helping in the preparations to welcome the students once again. These dates always excited me, as I would have a new group of children in my care, perhaps even new students. Usually, in the case of younger children, the parents used to bring them to their class, give them a kiss on the cheek, accompanied by a few words of encouragement, and then leave. But that day, a little blonde boy walked into my class by himself and sat down, saying absolutely nothing. I didn't think I had seen
Your
him.
boy
at school
look like he
before,
ain't getting no
so I
sleep.
figured he was new and walked over. Maybe he hadn't said
He got
hello
he got
because
bags
he was
all
shy.
around his eyes.
Hello, my little student.
God
I'm
dang.
Teacher Daphne. What's your name?
My name is Noah Phillips.
It's a pleasure to
Yo,
be your teacher, Noah.
Why is his voice so
You
deep?
better let me check the list first to make sure you're in the right class.
I am. I know I am.
He was right. According to the list of students I had been given, Noah Phillips was part of my class. Still, the way the little boy had spoken seemed strange to me. The security in his words was rare in him, because he looked more like an adult than a child. Maybe he was very smart, or maybe his parents had a
Hold on, lady. Over here. This guy right here, people, looks like a grown-ass man to her. This is a boy. This is a boy, not no man. Okay, mommy? Let's get back to it.
accompanied him and I hadn't noticed. Whatever the case, I tried to forget the matter.
Yo,
Perhaps it was a one-time thing.
hey, yo, shit.
But over the next
She didn't
few
have
days,
that before.
I became more and
She
more
got-
convinced that that was not the case.
She got the cleavage,
Noah
bro.
always
Them
had his
gin-
homework done
listen.
perfectly.
She got the cleavage. Them joints is poking out. I'm sorry. Ladies, I'm sorry. I'm a man. I'm sorry. All right. Continue.
Without a single mistake. When I asked him something in class, he answered without hesitation. He was very smart. That was clear. He was also well behaved, too much for a child his age. Even the quietest student sometimes had fun playing pranks, but Noah didn't. He was extremely quiet. It seemed like he only spoke when necessary. I started to think that maybe he was having trouble relating to others, so I planned educational activities to play in class, but he didn't want to. He always stayed in his chair, as far away from the others as possible.
Freaking commercials.
Every time another child approached him, I could see him getting tense and irritated. It was the only time his
Yo,
cold
why is she
gaze
creeping on a
changed
young
to
man
one
like
of
that?
annoyance. Before reporting the case to the principal,
Hey,
I
where-
decided
hey,
to
where they
take a
go?
closer look at him for a few
Where'd
weeks.
they go?
I noticed
There
that
they
the
go.
circles under his
Hey.
eyes were getting darker and darker. During breaks, he would sit down to eat alone. His meals, oddly enough, always seemed to be prepared with great care, except on Fridays. That day, he used to bring junk food, as if he himself
Hey, yo, listen, man. I need to introduce the elephant in the room. This teacher with the cleavage is a creep. She know the boy's routine, how his food's prepared. All I'm like, yo, she really studied this young man. That's crazy. Is that what the plot of this story is gonna be? Let's see.
had decided what to bring to school. His posture, besides, was contracted, with his shoulders hunched, but his gaze alert. At this point, I was very confused. I had never seen a child
Yo.
with such strange patterns. On the one hand, smart and responsible,
Yo.
apparently well looked after by his family.
Why is she
But on the other
creeping on
hand,
old boy?
cold, lonely, and irritable, showing no
look at
interest
her
in playing with others.
face.
In fact, as
Look
strange
at her
as it
face.
seemed,
Look what she's
it was hard
wearing.
for me to continue to believe that he was just a little boy. already too worried about the
Yo,
new student.
creeper
Without
behind
any
the
doubt that something
door.
was going on with him. I reported the situation to the principal. He, unfortunately, didn't seem to mind too much, but he still called Noah's parents to have a meeting with me. His mom and dad agreed to come on a Thursday after school. That Thursday morning, Noah was much more irritated than usual. He didn't let the other kids get close to him even a bit. When he started yelling at one, I had to intervene. "Hey, Noah, calm down. They're doing nothing to you. You don't have to be violent. Would you prefer to eat inside the class? Only I will be there with you."
Yo.
Excuse me?
Why did you do it?
Yo.
I've done all my homework. It's your fault. I hate you. Leave me alone.
Noah glared at me with hate and resentment before walking away. I was shocked.
Hey, yo, before that, Shorty said it'll just be me and you in the classroom alone. Like, bro, that is speaking the P word vibes. Sheesh.
Shocked. I had never seen those emotions in the eyes of a child. Still, I left him alone. I was convinced I could help him after the meeting with his parents. When the bell rang at the end of classes, I stood near the school entrance. Noah was there too, waiting for his parents as well as me. At a certain point, a tall, blonde man with big eyes and dark
Yo.
circles under them approached the new student. Behind him was a short, red-haired woman with a neat appearance. They were definitely
Yo, what's
his
up with
parents.
old boy's
I
eyes,
did
bro?
not hesitate to approach them, introduce myself, and accompany them to the office. Noah waited
Yo.
outside while I explained the situation to his parents. The man was looking at me strangely, without blinking. I was very uncomfortable, but I concentrated on speaking. Are very strange behaviors in a child, so I was wondering if...
That's how he is. It's always been like this. Just leave him alone.
Mr. Phillips, I understand that there are introverted children, but Noah is a case that
Leave our boy alone.
insisting was not a good option,
Ooh, you
considering that the
better
atmosphere
leave
had
his
become
boy
tense.
alone.
Without remedy, I accompanied them out of the office. There, the man lifted his son with a push. I watched helplessly as he led him away by the arm. The next day, I turned my attention to Noah. This time, he seemed exhausted for some reason. But what unsettled me most was that when he looked at me, his gaze was as cold and threatening as ice. The boy seemed to have gotten worse, but I didn't know how I could help him. I had chills running down my spine all morning until it was time to go out to eat.
Hey! Get away! Get away!
Suddenly, screams began to be heard within the class.
What's wrong? I just walked past you.
One of my students was next to Noah.
You are close. Very close. You touched me. Get away.
The girl, surprised and confused, did not move from her place.
Get away. Get away.
In just a second, Noah
Yo!
grabbed a pair of scissors and lunged at the girl. All the students who were present started screaming.
Yo!
I told you. I told you. Get away.
The boy
Yo!
began to insert and remove the scissors from the student's torso.
Yo!
He was screaming nonstop. I tried to get closer to separate them as fast as I could, but by the time I got there, the girl's uniform had turned red, as had the floor.
Get away. Get away. Ah!
Noah!
Noah was moving while I was trying to pull him apart when I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I had managed to hold him, but he had stabbed me. Soon, more teachers arrived due to the screaming and called the ambulance. Some, frightened, also contacted the police, which led to a police investigation. I can never forget what was discovered. It was in the news for a long time. They found out that Noah's dad was a murderer.
Yo!
Finally confessed, it was learned that he was forcing her and
Yo!
his son to kill people. From a very young age, Noah had been exposed to death. The boy tried to control himself, but he always felt that pressure of having to kill, so he couldn't stand being around people. If anyone touched him, the boy would lose control, and he would want to kill.
Yo!
Trevor here to let you know that LumeCube's spring sale is live. You can save big on our most popular lights for...
Yo! This is why you gotta leave the quiet ones alone, man. You can't be going up in their space trying to force them and stuff, and stuff like this happens. Like, jeez. Let's get back to the last story of the night. Are you there? You still with me? By the way, during all this, please subscribe down below. Like and share let's make this one big happy Avenger family. Let's get back to this, alright? Let's get back to this, alright?
My name is Francis, and I am graduating from high school next week. I am one of the few kids who is homeschooled, and I can't complain about anything. My parents are very smart and were able to handle my education smoothly. I didn't have any problems socializing. I have many friends in my neighborhood, and I even went to school until I was 13. I loved going to school, but after what I experienced that Friday, I never wanted to go back, and my parents understood me. I remember that Friday was the last day before vacation. It was quite rainy, but I didn't care. In my head, I was already going to the beach with my parents and my older brother. That day, I had math and literature classes. The literature teacher was grading exams while we were reading. In exchange for being quiet, she didn't give us homework, so we were all more than happy. When her hour was over and we came back from recess, we hoped to have some free time and maybe get home early, since the math teacher, Miss Collins, was almost always absent. This teacher was only a substitute, since the math teacher who was in most of the classes had retired this year. The rest of the professors were too busy to fill their schedules with more courses. So, despite missing a lot of classes and getting along badly with the principals, this girl was their only option. We were playing online games with my classmates on our cell phones, and it was already 15 minutes past class time, and we were wondering if we could leave early. But suddenly, the door opened. It was Teacher Collins, and she looked furious. As soon as she walked in, she saw Laura standing by the door. And before she could excuse herself, Collins grabbed her by the hair and spoke in a loud voice.
Laura, you were the one who got the highest score on the exam, so I'll let you out early. Go straight to the nurse's office and ask them to check your ear. Why my ear?
Laura said, confused and sobbing. Instead of answering her, the teacher took a revolver out of her pocket, held it from the side, and fired it. All of us students were paralyzed with fear, wide-eyed and shocked. Laura, stunned deaf from the gunshot, cried and hyperventilated in terror, while the teacher motioned for her to run. Collins then shut the door and locked us all in the classroom with her. With absolute silence in the classroom, the teacher went to the desk, put her gun down, and spoke.
Listen, you fucking brats. I'm having a shitty fucking day today, so I'm not going to repeat myself. If any of you stands up, talks, or uses your cell phone, I'll shoot you in the face. Understood?
The kids were silent, scared, without answering her. In response, Teacher Collins fired a shot into the ceiling. Luckily, the classroom upstairs was unoccupied.
Did you understand?
She repeated, shouting. Before the kids could respond, there was a pounding on the door, and on the other side, a man's voice. Collins, what the hell do you think you're doing? Get out of there and get the kids out right now! The police are coming! I couldn't see behind the door, but that was the principal's voice. He didn't sound scared. He sounded angry.
Pay attention. This is what will happen if anyone tries to get smart.
Without hesitation, Collins fired 3 shots toward the door where the knocking was coming from. Suddenly, there was a thud against the door, and blood began to flow
Shorty
under the
wildin'.
door. The children could not stand the pressure and began to cry,
Yo.
but quietly. The teacher, aware that the police were coming, got up from her
She
desk
got
and
grills
approached
on?
my table, grabbed me by the neck,
What's up with her
and said,
teeth?
Hello, Francis. You usually behave well. You better stay still, listen to me, and be a good human shield, because if you misbehave, I'll kill you.
No words came out of my mouth. I just took a deep breath and cried, frozen in fear.
Damn.
A few minutes later, the police arrived. Surprised by the corpse at the door, an officer shouted, "Miss Collins, you're surrounded. Release the children and come out."
You don't give me orders, you fucking pig. I have the children. Listen to me or I start killing them. I have more than 20. Do you want me to start with the first one?
As she spoke, she put the gun to my head again.
Yo.
I still remember the cold metal clashing against my hair, and how I felt it could go off at any moment. Lady, this is not going to end well for you. Let the children go, and we can talk.
I told you to shut up, pig. You want me to kill this little blondie? Stop pushing me.
Okay,
why
ma'am.
her nose look like
What do
that?
you want?
That's better. I'm willing to release all the children if you bring Officer Carlos Martinez. It won't be difficult. He's in this police station. I want him unarmed and in his underwear. If he's not here in 20 minutes, I'll start killing these little rats.
Ma'am, don't worry. We'll try to contact him, okay?
19 minutes.
She said angrily and bent down again, still holding me hostage. 15 minutes passed as if they were seconds. I couldn't stop looking at the clock. It was the last 5 minutes of my life. Collins seemed to notice this, as she was also constantly watching the clock.
Yo.
Suddenly, a new voice
Shorty
interrupted
psycho,
our thoughts.
bro.
Miss Collins, this is Officer Carlos Martinez. I'm here. Let's talk.
You're finally here, hero. I want you to take off your clothes and come in with your hands up. I'll send a boy to open the door for you. I'll release this one when you come in and lock it again.
Obediently, the process went as she planned. All of the other boys escaped. But instead of freeing me, she kept pointing the gun at me. Miss Collins, I recognize you now. Don't follow in your husband's footsteps. You became a teacher for the children. Your husband gave drugs to these kids. He took them out of school.
No one asked for your opinion, you fucking pig. This is all your fault.
Yo.
You locked him up. Now I'm alone. I have nothing to eat. Do
Hey,
you
yo,
think that being a teacher, I can...
Hold on. Is it me? I know y'all see this too. Look at the where I point the mouse. Look where I point the mouse, right? People, is it me? But you see this right here? Where the mouse is? And then there's another one. Bro, you see that, right? And then you got the shaft. The shaft right here. Like, what kind of bukkake is this, people? What is this? All right. But let's go back to the story.
pay my rent? None of this would have happened if there were no rats like you.
Filled with anger, she shot him in the feet.
Oh,
The officer
oh.
fell to the floor. As he fell, she let go of me and started kicking the officer, who tried to stop her, but found himself unable to move as Miss Collins was pointing the gun at him. Suddenly, the door fell with a crash and many men came in. Collins looked for me with her eyes at the corner of the classroom and raised her gun in my direction. But before she could even point in my direction, the FBI had already fired a burst of bullets at her. And in the process, saved my life.
Got him.
When my parents picked me up, I was in shock. I started seeing a psychologist a few days later, and only last year did I get the courage to visit Carlos Martinez, the cop who almost sacrificed himself to protect me and the other kids. The policeman told me that a short time before, he had arrested her husband, one of the most important drug dealers in the city. Shortly thereafter, it was discovered that his wife, Miss Collins, was involved in her husband's business. Although she may have once been interested in the children, at the time, she was only using it to cover her dirty business. Martinez and I became friends. And even though I have no interest in becoming a police officer and being so close to so much violence, I will always remember him as the one who saved my life.
Hey, yo, listen, people, man. Listen. I got something to say, man. Yo, from watching these scary stories, it comes down to the conclusion that mental health is real, people. Mental health is real, and we all have a certain, to an extent, of a mental illness, especially in the world we live in now, 2022. But I could say, yeah, I have a sort of mental illness myself, and I can admit to it, yeah. But it's a controllable mental illness that I have. But yeah, a lot of people develop these mental health issues over years and time growing up. You know what I'm saying? Experiencing different things, trauma, happiness, sadness, heartbreaks. You know what I'm saying? It develops into the human brain and the mind. So, and it messes us up, man. It messes us up for real. But I'm your boy Trini Hulk. If you're new to my channel, subscribe, like, comment, share. Do what you gotta do to help build this Avenger family. You know what I'm saying? Team Marvel. You know, you already know who my favorite Marvel character is. The Incredible Hulk, baby. You know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy. Till next time, my fellow Avengers. Yes, sir.